What's up, YouTube? What's up? Welcome to episode one. Y'all, I'm really fired up today. Had a day with Pace Morby. If you haven't seen him, check it out. Check him out on YouTube. I'm actually wearing his hat, repping his gear because he's kind of like the real deal, and he's teaching me a lot, teaching us a lot, and busting away some fears and myths that really don't belong. Um, so I just wanted to go live with all of y'all, even though my background isn't all set up, but I do have Arnie up there with Limitless, and he was like, "Hey man, y'all have a message to spread, so just get on YouTube, however it's like, and just say what you need to say." And here I am. So, what's up for all of y'all that don't know me? I just go by Fridge or the Rich Fridge, which is what this channel is going to be called because we're going to learn how to just make money by being cool and like just learning about what America is and like what some of the corporations, the advantages they have, and how you can kind of play with the system or play in the system because we're all part of the game. Whoa, oops. Anyway, that's for another time. But I actually just wanted to give a big shout out to the entire Pace community, Subto community, and it's essentially set up by this dude called Pace Morby, and today I got to spend time with him and learn from him about like so his main thing is like creative finance, and he's really known for his real estate space and portfolio. But what really attracted me is honestly the business acquisition portion of using creative finance. And it's y'all, this program and the community has been one of a kind. I'm pretty much like surrounded by amazing business folks and people that want to scale and collaborate and like work with each other and understand how adding value through your businesses and through just being a steward and owner of your space and community and taking an active role just sort of rewards you, and that's how you become rich. That's the simple solution to things. But I'm gonna figure out how to share my screen because man, this guy is amazing. He makes amazing. Like I feel like if you're on the entrepreneurship journey and you would like to create any kind of like generational wealth, listen to Pace and like folks like him. There's a lot of like free thinkers and doers, most importantly doers in this space, and enough people to gain inspiration from, and like just chart your own path because this is your life and you can make the most of it, and you have the now, and it's not going to last forever, so make the most of it and get kicking, right? Yeah. Okay, so now that we're here, we're all introduced. I'm just gonna like maybe just take 4 more seconds and share like that I have been a homeowner in the past where I bought it through a realtor and through a conventional loan and a traditional loan. And then once I heard of Pace Morby, I sort of wanted to try out some of the strategies that he was calling out, and um, they work, y'all. Like I was able to acquire the house that I'm actually surprisingly in right now through a investment acquisition, um, which was very different from the traditional like conventional way of buying things, and that was really interesting. It's like, hey y'all, if you have the hard cash, or if you know people that have the cash and want to collaborate, this is absolutely something that is possible. All right, so Um, Basically, in order to operate your businesses or your real estate as a business, there may be times where you may need money, right? Where you may need capital partners or like just folks to come in. And today we kind of walk through what some of these different people look like in the real estate and in the world today. And they might have, if you're watching from a different country, or I don't know if this even goes wherever, but they might be called something else from different places. But I would just like to share my screen and show you guys what kind of lenders are out there. And these are like, this is some of like the things that Pace Morby shared with us today. um, so I am going to take us to, and y'all, if you don't know, click up, check this out. It's a pretty awesome space. And collapse that for now. So I'll just take you guys through like this overview for a second. And um, there was like a bunch of conversation at the start of the day about podcasts and how they are super important in just getting your name out there and what you are doing. And the more folks that sort of know what you're doing, the more you can collaborate with people, which is really the name of the game, especially in the real estate space. Business, right? You can't really do business if there's like no communication. Like Pace kind of spoke about how there were, if you have a hamburger joint but don't have a sign up on it, not really a business, is it? So play the game right. There was like a lot of conversation around like I said, the whole like podcast, get on YouTube, share content, share your things. Okay. Here's the juicy part that I feel like all of you guys would be interested in. And if you look at some of my other scratch notes, you guys, it may not make a lot of sense, but if some of it makes sense to you and you want to talk about it, feel free to like leave a comment or something if you're seeing this at a later day. But all right, here's what you need to know about the lenders. So number one, and I love that like Pace has given us like animal names for all. He's like a master at creating analogies, and I feel like even a 5-year-old person can like understand what he's trying to say. So what are the different types of lenders that exist? Gator, these guys want to chomp chomp chomp. So they will give you a loan, but it's like a weird loan, right? So that's their business model. So you can't hate the Gators for being in that space, because they are in that space. And what they do is they give uh, small or a chunk size money for a short period of time, and I guess charge the most significant amount of money. And like they will give you hard money, like in cash or whatever it is, right, for whatever you need, but they need it back quick. And their terms are fairly high, meaning if you're taking like 5K, they're going to want like 2.5K back on top of the 5K when you return their money. Example. So a gator is basically short window and big uh, interest on it, right? Then there is a swimmer, and the swimmer is someone that is along for the ride, and they don't care about the returns. They want to get in this experience, and they want to get in the experience. Yeah. And they this is funny. So basically all of the real estate, and like basically if you're in business, you're using this tool called Slack, which just helps you communicate with your team. And so if a swimmer is getting money, he's going to want it back in about 18 months or so. All right. And they do sort of are swimming along with you for the experience and the education part of it. um, which is kind of cool, right? Like you get a buddy along, and you guys can like uh, there's already a charted path on what you are trying to achieve. The deal makes sense. um and somebody's like, okay, cool, buddy, I have like 30 to 50K I can deploy on your deal, and let's go get a cash flowing asset. What does that look like, in a business or real estate space? Depends on the deal and what you guys are working on, right? There is sort of an education journey, which is why they're sort of collaborating with you and not sort of taking a larger chunk of the pie. And they do want to be part of the deal. They want to learn. They want to have a good positive experience and learn how to do a couple of more of these, and then they sort of like get into bigger. Then they're able to work with bigger lenders. So dolphins are rare. Pace, I did go for Pace's private capital raising part one too, and I'll sift through my notes and see if there's anything like noteworthy to call out over there. But the dolphins are basically folks that really don't want to do nothing with the real estate or the business. All right, and Pace had a example of this lady that he was talking about called Desseray. Desseray squeaks a lot, which is why they're called dolphins. She was like a traveling nurse, and she spoke to all her friends about Pace because she started investing in real estate and started getting a check every month. And they started telling their friends, so they ended up raising $3 million from friends and family. And they'll stick around. So they're having a positive experience, and they've all invested together, and they're doing business together. And that's amazing, right? It's like, hey, I want to be your dolphin buddy, and like I'm gonna go tell my friends and family that I'm getting $500 in the mail every day, so you guys should all go invest in this. And then at the end of it, you do get your lump sum back also, which is like a great way to stay get paid, right? Shark, Pace says this is where he is. So, as a shark, you are involved in the deal. You want to steer the ship, and like you're basically in a space where you have money, you have the operations. The projects that you pick up are like big, and you know exactly what you're doing. And yeah, so that's sort of where a lot of the folks sort of are, where that are like business, busting their butt and like sharing their story and things like that. Okay, next up is a whale. They have lots of money, lots of weight. They heavy weight. They move slowly. They're like, hey, I'm going to deploy $15 million over here and 12% return. Um, and this is sort of like a HML, and HMLs are sort of maybe even ride on top of the whales' backs, or they're the swimmers to the whales, because they will use the money of the whales who are expecting 15 million at 12%, and they'll add their 2 points for like a deal and charge their cut out of it, right? So this is who you need to work with when you're needing like millions of dollars. And yeah, like if you're working on a multi-unit asset which has like 300 doors, you're not going to be working with um I mean, depends on where you are, I guess. But at least over here in the West, like you're not going to be going in with your gators and swimmer buddies or your dolphin friends. Potentially your sharks and your whales and your camels and these folks are like the people that you go into like heavier investment opportunities with, maybe like a oil refinery. I really wanted to ask Pace, like, how do you create a oil refinery? Like, with how many buddies do you need? Because I know you need about like 5 to 15 buddies for a hotel or a motel, right? And each of them are bringing like 50 to 500K, depending on the size of the deal that you're getting into. And when you're sort of getting into that space, you are getting more into funds territory and things like that, which does require certain like government regulations on how you file things. uh, but for the simple folks that just want to like two or three people want to partner together, or like a family wants to like acquire a house, or a second house or a third house or whatever it is, and maybe treat it as an investment property, and uh, start their financial freedom, like that's the one, I guess, one easy way, which is a proven way to be able to like be a steward of the land and of houses. And then yeah, as long as they're in good hands, as long as your team is capable, you are able to drive up that culture. And then you are able to do what you want. So a lot of the people that I've been meeting over here are, they're like all over their age range, you guys. I have met a 19-year-old kid called Kevin Cho, all the way to like Pace, who's like 40 some right now. And like, and there's, I don't know, like a whole bunch of like, it's really a big spectrum, all right? So like, it's never too early or too late. You are at the right place at the right time right now. And if you see this video at some point in the future, God bless you, and let me know where you're tuning in from, because like, I'd love to keep this conversation going, you guys. um I do take a lot of like conference calls and stuff like that on my day job too. So I suppose I'm good with like explaining things and understanding things, which is what I've just been doing for the last 12 or 15 years. So I was like, and there's been a big push to sort of like get the message out there about the things that I've been learning and how I've been evolving my life over the last uh, since my time here in America, okay, which is a long time. And yeah, so all right. So now that you guys know what a whale is, let me quickly touch on Camel and Poseidon. So Poseidons are like the god of wealth right now. So BlackRock, pension funds, they have a lot of money, but they will only work with like real people and investors. I sort of want to add like government here, because the government is one of the largest contractors. If you work with them, they're not like the lenders. I get it. They're not really lenders, but maybe that's a conversation. I don't know about it, but at least what we spoke about for examples were like BlackRock, pension funds, things like that. And a camel is somebody that like can stay long for a long time. They can like last a long time. So 5+ years, they can, they're not hungry for money, thirsty for money, whatever it is. They're just sitting good, and they've just been around for like 5+ years. They're carrying the investment. So, you guys, that's a little bit about the types of lenders that exist in the world and in America. If you guys are ever interested in getting any sort of money for any of your projects, for your business acquisitions. So, one of the plugs for Subto right now, and I'm going to send this email right after I get off of this live stream, you guys, is here, let me get this off of a screen share. All right. Um, so I hope that was fun for you guys. I hope that was interesting. But I just want to give another plug, one last shout out to the Subto community before I turn off for the night, you guys, because I'm going to be sending an email to Pace, because I've always been. All right, so if you for those of y'all that don't know, I did my master's has been in business administration from like Georgia, but I've always been in an organization and never had my own organization. And that changed as of like last year, because I was like, yo, let's, let's do this whole business thing. And um and I was ready for it, right? So last year, like after listening to a lot of Pace's content and like learning about corporate America, I ended up like opening up my holding companies, and then set up my uh, house within like one LLC, because that just has like a limited liability within itself. And that's a really good idea, you guys, because at some point in the future, I'm going to explain why, um, how like I had an insurance claim and all of that on my personal residence that I bought it the first time, but um, like it's really not something that should be tied to your name. So which is why, if you like, buy a house as an investment property and like use it for cash flowing purposes, which is what I'm doing right now, and like you're able to show cash flow, and I'm using this house as an Airbnb and like as a midterm rental. um so that's again, that's a story for another time. But what I really just wanted to call out is that I've always just wanted to buy a business. I wanted to be a business owner. I've wanted to be productive in society and like operate in that space. And like I don't know, I've done this for a while. I've kind of done it on a small scale in bits here and there. And I used to own like a clothing company, like uh, sort of like, it's just like graphic design, and you're using clothes to like create cool uh threads. But the point being, I've just never been able to crack the code to make it cash flow enough to substitute it for my main job, right? And I don't think I'm really going to get there for like the next 5 years. I don't really know. But the plan is simple, you guys. Just There's a lot of like churn, okay, in businesses and real estate also, just like how you have jobs and how you have like indeed.com, right? There are spaces, there are websites that you can get into that allow you to buy businesses and and real estate, right? But here's the thing: you can buy real estate on Zillow, or you can buy real estate on like Investor Lift, which is investor friendly. And they're two completely different markets, right? So if you're familiar with one, also get familiar with the other, because you can understand what kind of deals are out there and kind of get involved and acquire something. And you're allowed to get it for your homestead too. You can buy those kind of creative deals and investment friendly properties even for yourself, if that's what you'd like. But a lot of people end up like doing more productive things with it, um, and just staying in a humble place, I guess, like me. But all right. So important thing is, and if you're trying to buy businesses, check out websites called Biz Buy Sell and Biz Scout. I haven't seen Biz Scout, so I'm actually going to definitely check that out. Thank you, Pace, for that plug. And that's kind of all I've got, y'all. If you do not catch certain YouTube accounts like Clear Value Tax and Pace Morby, check them out. They have good content. And now that like citizen journalism is just getting more important and all of that, get your voice out there, be heard, and make some dope shit. All right, y'all. Nice to meet you guys. And that was my first episode, y'all. So give me some love. I'm sending some love back to you guys. If you leave a comment, I'll actually like say your name in prayer and happiness. And God bless you guys anyway. Y'all take care.